Hey guys, so like I just recently said, this is going to be my video on high anxiety. I finally have decided to do a video on it. I know I did a video explaining how to deal with it, but I was still learning then on how to deal with it myself. So I'll just hopefully not get into go that start off saying something and then go that way with it, and then I just want to get to the point. So I guess I should start by saying I have high anxiety and I'm not on medication. I was on medication and I took myself off of it. Ugh. I took myself off of it because I didn't like the fact that I had to take so many medication at such a young age. Um, I do have epilepsy, which is seizures. They aren't like that's another topic. I will do a video about that if you are curious. Um, but I had a lot of medications going on in my life. So, or I felt like I did. I think I only had really 3, but I felt like I did. Um, but yeah, so my anxiety problems is, sorry I have this, but my anxiety problem is that I get scared that I'm going to start to feel sick or nauseous or faint. And if you guys know the YouTuber Graveyard Girl, or also known as Bunny, she actually inspired me to do a video about this, and I know I said that in my last video, but this is actually me explaining more into depth about how my anxiety is, which is very similar to Bunny's actually, which I realized while watching hers over and over. But this is my way of how I deal with it, and not Bunny's. So again, I get scared that I'll start feeling nauseous or like I'm gonna faint or I'm not gonna make it to the nurse or something during school. This these anxiety attacks, which I've had before, yes, normally happen like when I'm outside of the house or away from like comfort zone areas. Because if I really start to think about getting sick when I'm in my house, nothing happens. But if I'm outside, like if I'm at school, let's say, which happens a lot and it happened recently, but when I'm at school, I start to be like, um, oh, you don't feel sick, you feel fine, but then just thinking even about the word sick makes me get a little anxious and nervous, and then I start to feel that nervous and I'll be like, oh great, now I'm getting sick, so it starts to lead into bigger things, and I get nervous because I'm feeling nervous, which doesn't make sense, but it does at the same time. Um, okay. Also, that's basically it, and also I'm not very good in big crowds. I'm fine at concerts, which is totally weird, or at my high school, which the hallways are busy, but people are going in one direction in my hallway. So even though the freshmen tend to clump up in the middle of the hallway, a lot of the I'm a junior in high school, by the way, but the freshmen and sophomores, everybody clumps up in the middle of the hallway and it just drives me crazy. But other than that, I'm fine. Also, I'll actually tell you a story of when I was in the mall and I had an anxiety attack. So I went shopping with my mom and my boyfriend for jeans for me, and then we kind of just did a free shopping like fun day. But as soon as I got into the store PacSun, I started to get really nervous, and I could feel like really hot all of a sudden, and my stomach felt queasy, like I needed to sit down. And then I started to worry even more because I wasn't at my house, so I couldn't just lie down in my bed. I had to be moving constantly, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to just sit down in my in the dressing area for an hour or so, or more, however long it took, and um, all of that. So I was like trying on these pants and I was just not wanting to at all, so I just stopped. And I was like, I can't do this. I don't feel good. I'm getting nervous. And when I don't feel good, when I get like an anxiety attack, I don't like when people are touching me or rubbing against me or really close to me. I like it kind of gets to this claustrophobic thing, which I don't think I am. I think it just happens in these little situations. Um, but my boyfriend likes to stick close to my side, which is fine. But when I'm having an anxiety attack, it gets a little much for me. And if you guys know what I mean, then you totally know what I mean. If you guys like get that, then you understand. But um, also the fact that there's a certain place in New Hampshire that I always get an anxiety attack, and it's at their Walmart. I don't know why it's their Walmart. I don't know why every time I go in there, I just go crazy and start getting cranky and yelling at my mom and all that. So, leading up to my story, sorry I got distracted, about my PacSun, I ended up being okay. I was still shaky towards the end of the day, and like my hand was like not crazy, but it was shaking enough that I could feel it. So I got through the day just fine. No problem. This other story, which I just forgot I was talking about. I'll just tell you of a really recent anxiety attack that I just had, which was um, I was at school actually, and um, again, I don't like the thought of feeling sick or becoming sick. So, and by sick I mean nauseous or like throwing up. I'm sorry if it's too much information for you guys, but yeah. It's not about catching a cold. I could honestly care less about that. It's just problems with my stomach or feeling like I'm going to faint, basically. And so this girl in my Spanish class, which is my first block class, or first period, um, like kind of ran out of the classroom pretty fast. So it kind of made me nervous, and then someone asked what was wrong with her and why she left. And I just had to be sitting next to the person that told them, and she was like, she feels like she's going to throw up. So I started getting nervous. I was like, oh my god, what if I start to feel like I'm going to throw up or blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know how to handle that at the time. So, and it was right towards the end of class too, which was a bummer. And, so, cause like, right after my first block is my advisory, or my homeroom, and the nurses close, I have a string in my head, close at, or during homeroom, which I find really stupid, even though homeroom is only 10 minutes long. But, so I started to freak out, and it was like 10 minutes before Spanish class was over. So I went over, or I was capable of making it through first block, and then as soon as I got to TA, I just put my head down and tried to relax. I kind of just breathed deeply in and then out, but it didn't really help because my heart was going faster than I could really pick up on. So my boyfriend's trying to talk to me and everything in TA and all this stuff, and I just feel so bad because I started getting cranky with him, and I just didn't want to hear anybody like talk. I just wanted to like calm myself for a little bit, and what I was doing was not working at all. So he got upset with me because I got upset with him, and he was trying to make me feel better at the same time. That didn't really work. So, then I got down to my second period, which is chemistry, and we're all serious. Yeah, it was just, but as soon as I got to chemistry, I went straight to the nurse. Like I put my bag down onto my desk, or the floor next to my desk, under my desk, and I like went straight to the nurse, and I told the nurse that I was feeling shaky and like I was gonna faint, and that I couldn't really. I felt like I couldn't stand. Like I needed to sit down, or I was gonna faint right in front of her. And so she gave me ginger tea, It's just warm water with like pieces of ginger in it. It's actually not that bad. I mean, it does have a weird taste to it, but I like it because it made me feel like I was getting better. And she said it would help me calm my stomach down and like, and I felt like she wasn't, I have like black right here, but I felt like she didn't understand what I was trying to tell her, and I was telling her that I felt sick and nauseous and shaky and all that good stuff. So she said, well, there is a bug going around, and I was like, great. Um, so I asked if I could call my mom because at this point I was freaking out. I was really scared, and I was on the verge of tears while I was trying to tell the nurse like what was going on. And so the nurse hands me this phone, and it wasn't my cell phone, but she hands me this mobile phone or portable, whatever. I don't know. She called it something weird. And I just sat in this room with a couch and my tea and a radio and like books, and it was just a really small room. And I just called my mom. My mom and I probably talked for about 30 minutes, and also the nurse wanted to send me home, and I did not want to go home, and I knew I was okay, but I didn't really feel it, type of thing. Like you know you're gonna be okay in the end, type of thing, but you don't feel it at the moment. So I sat in the nurse's office for literally 30 minutes just talking to my mom, who was at work, and so we kind of got off the topic of about anxiety and just started talking about what I wanted to do this weekend or all that good stuff to try and distract me. And I really wanted to make a doctor's appointment to get medication because I was on anxiety medication before, but I took myself off of it. So yeah, so after I hung up the phone with my mom, she tried making an appointment, and she made one that night. So that was really awesome, and I was super excited about it. I ended up lasting the whole day. The rest of the day, I was fine. Um, and then, but I got out of school early because my appointment was at 3, so I got let out at 2:30. And I drove, or I didn't drive. My mom did. We drove all the way down to my doctor's, and I was not happy with what the doctor gave me. She said she kind of got the impression that I was scared of getting like a cold instead of being nauseous in school or all that good stuff. And so what she told me to do, I think she understood it after a while, but what she told me to do, so this is how you deal with high anxiety, or how I do it anyways, and it might work for you, is 5 in, the 5-7-8 game. It's not really a game, but she called it that. And basically what you do is you breathe for 5 seconds in, and it doesn't matter what speed you are, or you can do, just do it at a good speed that you can do. They'll be like 1, 2, because that's too long, and just be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you have to. Just do whatever works. And then you hold for 7 seconds, and then you let out for 8, and that literally works for me. I have had anxiety attacks. I actually had one, was it Tuesday? It was Tuesday, because we have kneecaps, but it wasn't because of that. I was just scared I was going to get sick, or, again, same old. I don't get worried about tests much, but anyway. So I had this anxiety attack, and I went to the bathroom, and I took some time and just breathed. And don't do that only once. You can if it helps you, like if your anxiety attack is minor at the time, or if you feel one coming on. But I do mine at least 5 times, and then I head back to class, and then I keep doing it in my seat. And yeah, so that will be in another video to more detail into it, because this is me about my anxiety. So if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them in a video or in a message separately, comments, whatever you want. I still want to be on medication, but so far this is working out great for me. This is also one of those things that I want to be on medication, but I also want to learn how to deal with it hurt like myself instead of trusting this medication type of thing. So I'm gonna make another video about how I deal with it, so it isn't rambled. But basically, my anxiety is that I feel sick, or I get nervous that I'm going to feel sick, and then I feel sick. End of story. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please, again, ask me any questions, make a video response to this. That'd be awesome. Do anything you want, and there'll be another video about how I deal with it coming up shortly. Bye.